Sometimes a single image can cut through all the noise, all the headlines and statistics, and tell you the real story of a nation. It can show you a hidden truth. And well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. Just take a second and look at this. A man, completely drenched in sweat, with a whole refrigerator strapped to his back. His body is bent, his face is strained, but he just keeps going. And no, this isn't a stunt for a movie. This is the raw physical reality for millions of people in India every single day.
This one photograph, it tells the story of so many people we never see. The ones who start their day not even knowing if they'll find work, let alone if they'll be able to eat. It really forces you to ask a tough question. Whose India are we really looking at?
So who is this man? He's not just one person. He's a symbol. He represents this huge, often invisible part of the Indian economy. He's part of the very backbone that holds the country's growth up, but he rarely gets to share in any of the rewards.
And get this, here's a number that's just staggering. Over 80% of India's entire workforce operates in what's called the informal sector. That means the man in this photo, he isn't the exception. He's the rule for the vast majority of working people in the country.
So what does it actually mean to be a part of this invisible workforce? Well, it means you're living on the edge every single day. Let's break down what that life actually looks like.
For starters, life in the informal sector is pretty much defined by everything you don't have. There's no pension waiting for you, no health insurance if you get sick, and absolutely zero job security. Your income is literally what you can scrape together that day. Think about it. One rainy day, one small illness, and an entire family can go hungry.
Now, this guy's struggle isn't happening in a vacuum. It actually reflects a much larger story about the country. When we zoom out from this one person and look at the economic data for the whole nation, the picture of inequality is, well, it's incredibly stark.
Okay, so take a look at this. According to the World Inequality Report, the top 1% of India's population holds 40% of the entire nation's wealth. Now add the next 9% and you see that the top 10%, they own a combined staggering 65%. Now look at the other end of the scale. The bottom 50%, that's half the country, they're all sharing just 6.4% of the total wealth. Just let that sink in.
And the story's just as dramatic when we look at what people earn each year. The top 10% of the population takes home 58% of the national income. Meanwhile, the bottom 50% gets just 15%. This isn't just a gap, it's a chasm.
But here's where the story gets a little more complicated. Because right alongside this massive inequality, there has also been some real measurable progress. To get the full picture, you have to look at the good news too.
And the good news is pretty significant. Between 2015 and 2021, reports show that 135 million people were lifted out of what's called multidimensional poverty. That looks at more than just money. It includes health, education, and living standards. The World Bank also says that extreme poverty has fallen dramatically. And it's true that government programs for things like cooking gas and housing have helped millions.
So, okay, the official poverty numbers are down, but does that really capture the full reality of people's day-to-day lives? It kind of begs the question, are we even measuring the right things?
Because here's the catch. Despite that progress, these huge problems are still there, kind of simmering under the surface. The jobs people manage to find are often unstable, there's a real shortage of skilled work that provides a steady, reliable income, and all the while, the skyrocketing costs of healthcare and education are always threatening to pull families right back into poverty.
And all of this, it brings us right back to him, the man with the refrigerator. It forces us to look past the spreadsheets and the data and ask a much more fundamental question. What does development truly mean anyway?
So what do we choose to see? The rising GDP numbers and the shiny new infrastructure? Or do we also see the immense human effort, the actual pain on the stooped shoulders that are holding all of it up?
In the end, this photo is like a mirror. It reflects a question that goes way beyond economics. It asks us all to think about the kind of society we're building and who exactly is being left behind in the process.
Because you know what? Development can't just be about impressive statistics. Until the person carrying that heavy load can truly, honestly believe that their children's future will be better and more secure than theirs, then the work of building a nation will always be incomplete.